Morning, Betsy.
Hey, good morning.
Tired?
Yes, I am. We just got off a plane about 8, we got home at 8:15. We got off a plane at 6:30, got home at 8:15. And I only got 2 hours sleep on the plane, man. I could not sleep.
Good morning.
Hi, Mom. Like your elbow pads.
Huh?
I like your elbow pads.
Your elbow pad.
Well, I
Well,
couldn't.
at least you got them on.
Yeah, I couldn't wrap that thing, get it to stay. If I could have just got it started, but it kept slipping. And I didn't want to get blood on my bed, so I got 5 Band-Aids on there.
Will they come off easy, you think? Or just
So
They're those big ones, huh?
which one of those things work best, or do they all have a different application?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Which one of those bandages works best, or does each one have its own strength?
Yeah. I like the one that we were putting on here, and I think it said double action or something. I like it. And then that stuff that you wrap around, the brown stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of elastic stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of them other than just, pictures on the packages when I sent them, so I don't know. But
Yeah, they're fine, all of them. Let's see.
Where you couldn't wrap by yourself.
Yeah.
April wasn't here to help her yesterday or Thursday. She was off on Thursday and she didn't want to come until Mom was at the hairdresser, and Mom had to go to the hairdresser. What did the hairdresser say about your beautiful tattoos?
They all want to know what in the world happened. They say that gentleman, as you go in the door, that back in the barber shop, he wasn't there when I went in, and when I come out, he was there, and he always speaks to me. And he said, "You fell again."
You fell again.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they were all real nice.
How was Vegas?
Have the businesses like they used to.
I'm sorry?
They don't have the business at the beauty shop like they used to. All the snowbirds are gone home.
They'll be back.
Yeah.
How was Vegas?
Oh, it was great. We had a great time. We just enjoyed being there, walking, through different casinos, walking around the casino we were in at the Luxor, and then we went to see the Mystery, which is a Cirque du Soleil event. We've been to see Love, which is the Beatles, and we've been to see Michael Jackson. And so we did the Mystere, which is it's sort of a Parisian thing. It doesn't have, it's kind of a plot, but not really. It's just a show of acrobatics. But It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And then we went to see the Neon Sign Museum and the Brilliance Show. And that was great. It was all the old signs, neon signs that were created when Vegas opened. So one of the guys that took us through the signage initially said, she gave us a history of Las Vegas, the start of 1905 of Las Vegas, going into the 30s and then into the 50s, the Rat Pack era, and then how it emerged to be what it is today. So that was really nice. It was nice to hear all that history and then to have the signage there to kind of back that up, because it was not just the Las Vegas Strip signage, it was also some of the business signage, the businesses, and learning how neon signs are made and how there's gas in there that creates the color. So that was fun. And then they had a brilliant show on afterwards across the street. It's in a separate location. And these signs did not work, but I'm not sure. I don't know if you've seen where they do this light show with buildings, because they do it at Disney, where it looks like it's something spectacular on Disney, and whatever, the building is, they have these images that just look like they're right there. I don't know if you've seen that. Huh?
laser show.
Well, it is, yeah, it is like a laser show, right? Well, they did a laser, huh?
Stone Mountain's done it for 20 years.
Is up.
Oh, he can't turn his up. I have to turn mine up, Mom. She said to tell you to turn up your volume.
I can't hear.
Let me see if
I can
mine
hear
goes-
you.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a laser show. It was very nice and very well done. And they started with video of that was filmed in Las Vegas when it was, first came to be the strip that we knew it as in the olden days, back in the Rat Pack days. And it took it up to the shows and the life of today. And then it also showed Liberace.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Wayne
It did all the way around because you were sitting in the middle of a circle and all this old signage, the old Stardust signage, and I can't remember what it is, what the name of it is. But anyway, some of the old hotel signage, I was looking to see if I even brought my phone with me.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those H&C coffee things that light up?
No, like, yeah.
Anyway, it was a great show. And the lastly, and I left my phone at home. How smart of me.
Yeah.
I went out because Lori doesn't want to do this. She just sent me out to the Colorado and I kayaked on the Colorado all day on Thursday. So that was really nice.
Yeah. Sounds like, so you were deep in the canyon or were you kayaks?
We didn't go into any, we were in a canyon, yes, because we were surrounded by the mountains. We were not in the Grand Canyon, but we were in a canyon that's closer to the Hoover Dam. We did not go to the Hoover Dam because that would have required a longer day trip. And I decided everything I wanted to see was in the half day. And I didn't want to go out for hour. When you leave on the full day, you leave at 8 in the morning or 6 in the morning and you don't come back till like 10 at night. And I just wasn't into that. So
She
Hoover
took me
Dam.
to Dam.
Pardon me?
She took me to Hoover Dam.
I was going to say, it may have been very disappointing had you gone now.
I've been to Hoover Dam, yeah. And on our way back, the guide, he was a really good guide. Most of everything we saw was just nature and a lot of wildlife. And on being on the water. And we went into the Emerald Cave. It was a cave that's totally green, has green water inside because of the moss. So it was beautiful. But aside from that, when we were heading back to the lodge from where we started, he stopped and, well, he didn't stop. He was going across the bridge and he said, okay, everybody get their camera. And he said, because you're going to see the Hoover Dam. And he had already talked to us about it, how it's 140 feet lower than what it has been because of the water. There's no runoff from snowmelt. So when we went by, I did get some pictures and you could see this, all the white rock from one point, which used to be the water level at the dam. And, it was quite interesting. So now I need to go back to when I took pictures of the dam before, and I'd like to compare to see the difference.
Yeah. Hey, Mom.
Yeah.
Who were your friends when you were growing up?
I don't know their last names, and I can only think of two.
Well,
huh?
You just went mute, Tom.
How about now?
You're good.
Okay.
Yes, you're back. Well, what were their first names?
One was Rosemary,
Uh-huh.
and I can't remember.
She was in Halifax Court.
Yeah, no, yeah, she lived up on the beginning of Halifax Court, and we lived down 2 rows down.
Okay. Now, so you would have been in elementary school with her?
Yeah, I guess so. Don't remember if she was, she wasn't in the class I was. I think she was a little older than I was.
Okay.
And there's another one, but I can't think of her name right now. We skipped school together.
You did.
Her mother worked, and she talked me into skipping school. So we stayed in the house, her house, all day. We couldn't go out. Somebody'd see us.
Now, was this Rosemary or a different one?
No, a different one. The one I can't think of her name.
Hmm.
So
Wasn't much fun staying in the
No.
house all day, was it?
no, I said
Was
never.
this elementary school or middle school?
Elementary.
Man, you guys were wild.
I know. We'd get every other night. They'd get all of them get together and go around, and they set their bottles out for the milk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And some of them would take and pick them up and throw them and bust them.
Oh, no.
They would, and I quit running around with her because that and they'd get out at night and they would take clothes off of people's lines if they had clothes hanging there. I was
Man.
scared. I was scared to death.
And you know, people didn't have much money, so
No.
to have their milk thrown out.
Yeah,
That was one of the signs I
But
saw.
she was talking about empty bottles.
empty bottles.
Oh, empty bottles.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was what? One of the signs what?
One of the signs we saw was the milkman, you know, with his carton of milk. And she said, I didn't doubt, you know, I didn't say it was different for us, but she said there was a day that we didn't have refrigeration, so the milk would come in the morning and the milk would come in the afternoon, late afternoon.
Really?
And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because we got ours in the morning and we had a refrigerator.
Yeah. Well,
that most, I mean, yeah, once refrigerators came online, I mean, that's the way it was. It didn't diminish the milk supply. Maybe getting rid of the second delivery.
Right.
I didn't know that. That's interesting to hear.
It is interesting. And then, you know, to know that, of course, we know that the milkman eventually disappeared because grocery stores started carrying the milk.
Right.
Well, before they started carrying the milk, Mama got so mad with me because I was sitting on the porch, a little concrete thing, sitting there, and the milkman came by, and I was asking when was he gonna get chocolate milk again. Well, I said, when are the chocolate cows gonna get well?
Because you weren't getting chocolate milk.
Yeah, because that's the only thing I would drink was chocolate milk.
And she told you the cows were sick?
Yeah. Who told me? No, I just assumed, I guess, being a kid, that maybe they were sick or something.
That's cute, Mom.
I was so embarrassed.
Oh, you were a kid.
I
So
know.
that's cute, actually. Who would be embarrassed to be cute?
Yeah.
Be something to laugh at.
Hey, so when you dropped out of school, which school were you going to?
Hugh Morrison.
That was in Raleigh?
Yeah.
Is that what it was called? Hugh Morrison?
It was a middle
Not
school.
been there for years. I just started to go in the 8th grade, and Mama pulled me out, and they moved to Garner. And Roy wouldn't let me go to school. I evidently trying to get them to let me go to art school. And Roy told me he wasn't paying for me to go to art school, and I wasn't going back to school no more. I didn't need it.
So what'd you do then?
Well, I cleaned house for Grandma and Margaret and stuff like that. And then when I turned 15, I got a job.
So you stayed home?
Yeah. It wasn't fun, I can tell you. But anyway, if it wasn't for Grandma, I don't know what I'd have done.
So when did you move in with her?
she was living with Margaret and Marvin on that street where the filling station across the street and your daddy was working there. Glenwood Avenue, I think it was. And I don't know why Mama sent me to them. And I won't never forget. I think, now this is a crazy thing not to like somebody, but we was eating supper one night and I wanted some more of the greens and Marvin wouldn't let me have it and he gave them to the dog. And I had never really liked Marvin since, and I know that's awful to just not care for somebody because of that. But I was still hungry.
Right.
So
It's kind of mean.
yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, it was mean.
But
Way mean. So Margaret and Marvin, were they living with grandma or she was living with them?
I don't know how it was.
And we're talking about Margaret, the youngest of the
His
Spencer.
wife.
His
Margaret
wife.
was Marvin's wife.
Marvin's
first
wife.
wife.
Okay.
Okay, and then at some time or another, I don't know how it happened, they moved out and Roy and Mama moved in.
Well, it might have been
Same
Granddaddy's
place.
place then.
Yeah, it might have been.
What?
Uh,
Would you say that?
The house was, when you'd walk in this big room, it was Mama's and Roy's bedroom, and then you'd walk back and be Grandma's room, and then there was a little room in between Grandma's room and the kitchen, and that was where I slept.
Slept in the closet.
No. I don't know what it was. It's just a way to get to the kitchen, I guess.
I think they call those, I've been watching HGTV and in certain, like in Ohio and places like that, they call those mid-century houses, that have those, they're like townhouses or apartments, but they're like you just like walk down a hallway and you're walking through rooms.
No, we weren't walking down the highway.
Well, I know, but you're walking
Yeah.
through rooms.
It's just straight back.
Right, but you have to go through
Yeah.
each room.
Yeah.
And I thought, and one of the women on HGTV bought one of those houses and loved it. And I
Yeah.
thought, what in the world would people want to buy a house where you have to walk through everybody's room?
room.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I started taking your dad there. That I'd go cross the street with my skates because it slanted down and outside was brick. And I'd ride the bicycle.
Skates.
I'd skate down the hill and go down around his pumps, and he would fuss at me. I used to drive him crazy running through his place.
So did you have any friends then?
No. I had nobody but the family.
So did you ever run into the other girls later on?
No, never seen them. And I would love to have known who they were. But
So when did you ever see Nancy Strickland?
no, because they lived somewhere else. I think, Smithfield. They
Oh,
lived in
okay.
Smithfield.
So you didn't know any of your cousins?
I knew it.
With Nancy, when she was small.
Do what?
I don't know how long, but you lived with Nancy for a while. I mean, everybody lived with grandma for a while when you were 4. Nancy was there at the same time. You were all living in the same house.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was when I was younger. Yeah, everybody lived in that house. That's where I fell off the stool. Grandma had me a stool to stand on. I was a couple years old. and I was brushing my teeth. And something happened, I fell over. I think it knocked me out because they were real upset about it.
So you started this falling business early.
She did, didn't
Yes,
she?
yeah. 2 or 3 years old.
You're a real pro, Mom.
Yeah.
And it's very sad to hear about Jeannie Robinson.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
What's interesting is I haven't heard a word on the media here about her.
Have
So,
you?
Well,
so I guess she just wasn't that popular in some people, to some people, but man.
I don't, I saw it in the paper here.
Oh,
So,
you did?
yeah, maybe it was the newspaper. I'm trying to remember where I saw it. But anyway, she was, I never looked at her as a national. She had, the way I understood her business was it was conventions and stuff like that is what she did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I know.
It
true.
wasn't that she was a stand-up comic.
Right.
She took a message to conventions and made them human.
She did. That's true. She did. But she did have quite a following.
Well, every JC from my era knew who she was. And,
Yeah.
yes. So, it was sad though. And for them both to die within 2 months of each other. I mean,
Yeah.
I
That's
know.
true love.
I suppose. Or over dependent one. I mean,
Right.
Well, Frank and Hazel died. Hazel died a little bit after Frank died.
really.
Yeah.
I think it was more than that, maybe 4 months or something like that.
She didn't have a clue though that he had died, did she?
No.
She was pretty far.
But they said she missed him so much.
Yeah.
They'd sit on the sofa together and he would kiss her and all, and she missed that. She knew about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
She would come home, according to Frank, before he died. He said that she would go out during the day with her,
the ladies.
the ladies, but he called it something. I can't think of what he called it, but he said it was, they would do this outing. One of the women nurses would take the few of them that had Alzheimer's out for an outing. And he said every day, I'd say, well, is it good for her? And he said, oh my God, I wish I'd got her here 5 years earlier. And he said, yes. And I said, well, how do you know? And he said, because when she comes back, she sits and she just chats up a storm and she's laughing. And I said, well, what is she saying? He said, well, I don't know what she's saying, but he said that she's
doesn't matter.
happy.
She was happy.
She was happy, and she was excited to be telling him about whatever it was she had done for the day. And she seemed happy to be home with him. So.
And they said that she was so happy that she would laugh like crazy when they'd take her out. And all those ladies loved her very much. They just thought she was the sweetest thing in the world. And at the viewing, they had her sit up front. They didn't let her go in where the casket was and see him. But she'd sit up there and she would laugh and talk to you. You didn't know what she was saying. But she was always smiling, and that beautiful white hair.
So what did Frank die of?
Heart disease.
Right.
He had been in the hospital before Mom and I went to see him at the retirement community that he had moved into.
Yeah.
It was not, I don't know what you call it. I guess it's assisted living because it was really, fully constructed. There were apartments, but it was inside, and a nursing station was in an apex for each of the apartment units that they serviced. And they had an in-house dining room. It's much like what Linda's friend has, Toots, lives
Uh-huh.
in. It's assisted living, but you have your own apartment, your own balcony.
And you don't lock the door,
Right, and
and you don't lock the door, and they give you medicine.
so,
They keep that.
so he had gotten out of the hospital from having had a heart attack and some kind of surgery. But I guess, he must have, it must have been a weak heart, because that's what he died of.
And he was very well known. He did a lot.
Yeah, we went down to sit with him while he was having dinner in the dining room. Nice dining room.
Yeah.
Huh. So he did a lot after he retired.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Tom,
Oh my goodness.
Tom, he was retired when we were growing up. He had gotten a package, he said, from GE that was pretty good. It
Well,
must
he
have been.
retired at 55. I remember when he retired.
Yeah.
I just graduated. I was living over off of
Right, that's right.
Shenandoah Avenue or something.
I hadn't yet graduated. I remember he was retired when I was, did a band, one of my band went out to Blue Ridge Memorial for one of the Veterans Day affairs. So, but yeah, you're right. He would have was probably retired as you were a senior.
Yeah. But what did he do after he retired?
Continually worked with the,
American Legion.
the American Legion, the Kiwanis, did he, or
yeah,
just American Legion?
No, American Legion and all the VFWs and anything with military.
And the church.
And the church.
They're totally dedicated to the church.
Yeah. So they left the house to the church.
Well, I vaguely remember that. Well, it makes sense. It was next door to it, wasn't it?
Yeah, right.
Except I think that, I have this vague memory of Mom asking him if the house went to the church, and he said that because they went into the assisted living, there had to be some changes.
Oh, that's right.
So I think they had to use the house to be, in assisted living.
Yeah, anytime you go in assisted living, if you own a home, you have to.
Well, if you,
Give it up.
If
to give it up, if they need financial.
Pardon?
I was just gonna say, it's not that they make you give up your house, it's just that you have to be financially sound to make sure they get their money, and if he had retired at 55, we're not, who knows if he had, enough money to not have to put up the house. They weren't there that long is the sad thing, usually when you go into assisted living, if it's because of an illness or incapacitated and not ambulatory, your expectation is to be there for a while. So that's why they would want to take your assets or hold your assets and take, the funding from that. But, shoot, I don't think they were there 3 years, were they?
I don't know how long they were there. But the house was still sitting in with their furniture in it.
Yeah.
They took some to the nursing home. So it just sat there.
But Frank said, when I asked him, how did he like the place? And, how did Hazel like it? Which, that's how he was defining how she felt when she'd go out on her trips during the day. But he looked at me and he said, I wish I had gotten here 2 years earlier. So I guess they'd been there a couple of years. He said, I wish we had gotten here 2 years earlier and then he went on to explain all the things that was good for Hazel.
Right.
And, that his health was failing and it was good for him, but it was mostly he could see so much good in Hazel being there.
And he had shingles for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. And he really suffered from them.
Well, he was taking care of her by himself in the house.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, we had somebody come out and talk to my Rotary Club about hospice.
Yeah.
And you think that people will go into hospice for months ahead of time. And it may be different now, but this was 20 years ago, the average stay in hospice was like 2 days.
Well, the
Only
hospice,
because people would tend to put this off. Not so much the person in hospice, but the family did not want to the families do not want to give up. And that will prolong going into hospice.
well, assisted living though is usually you go in with the expectation of special care for a while,
Yeah,
like with
living-
Hazel.
But I'm not, yeah, didn't mean to equate it with that. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
he put off going into assisted living.
yeah.
People
Right.
put off going into hospice. So.
Yeah, well, actually, when we took Claude to hospice, I asked the nurses there, because I was over there every day for those few days that he lived, and I said, what's the average stay here? I mean, because when they first put him in, I started thinking, oh my God, he's doing pretty good, because the first day he was lucid and he was talking to you, and I was thinking, oh my God, why is he here? Maybe we've made a mistake.
Yeah.
And she said, it's average stay is 5 days max.
Wow. So it's not much different than what I heard. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can identify with that. I mean, I took our dog to have her put down.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't get around. You may have done the same thing, but
With
anyway,
Lucy,
I put Lulu in the back of the car and she stood up. She hadn't stood up in a couple of days.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh my God, am I doing the wrong thing? But then she regressed by the time we got to the vet.
That happened with Lucy. We had gotten off a trip with our Hungarian family that we had taken across country.
Yeah.
That was when you were in the nursing home with a broken ankle. Remember, Giannis and Elizabeth came through.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, we got home and the care provider we had left her with said that she was not doing well. And we took her home and we called the vet, and the vet said it's time. Her kidneys are failing because she couldn't get up and walk. She couldn't go out on her own. And so we were sitting in the kitchen with her, there's Janos and Carmen and Kyle and Ingrid and the whole family sitting around the kitchen. And she was sitting on her little bed, just smiling and happy. And, we were loving on her. And then I was thinking, oh my God, is this a mistake? We're taking her, and we got her to the vet, and the vet said, no, it's not a mistake. She's in full-blown kidney failure, and, let her go.
I dreamed about Claude last night.
You did.
But in the dream, we evidently was separated, and your dad was, Claude was trying to, he was acting like everything will be fine. I'll do this for you and do that for you. And I've been dreaming about him a lot.
He just had a birthday.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever go dancing?
Who?
Did we do what?
You met at the Moose Lodge or something, right?
No, we met at the
VFW.
VFW.
She was bartending.
Right. I got that part. Yeah.
And
He would come in to see you.
Huh?
Did y'all go dancing or?
Yeah. Not much.
Not much.
Just there when they dance in the jukebox going.
Now, you and Dad used to dance a lot, right?
Oh yeah.
That's what y'all would go out on Friday, Saturday nights, right?
Yeah, I can go to the Moose Lodge. Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, did you do that when you first got married?
Oh no, I didn't until y'all got up to some age.
I remember you went somewhere. I don't know if it was a Moose Lodge or just a place to dance, but when I was smaller, I remember Dad got me up and showed me how to dance, and immediately I figured those steps out.
Yeah.
And we just went around in the circle.
Yeah. Do you remember the birthday party I gave you and the movie you were doing the twist?
Yeah.
I'd give anything to have that back.
The movie? Or
Yeah,
the twist?
Right.
The
She
ta-
wants to be able to do the twist again,
Yeah,
but we don't want her to fall, so don't promote that.
Yeah.
my
So
one wish, if I could have it, would be that I could dance again before I pass away. Can't do it.
Yeah. What, do, what's the first movie you saw, Mom? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was in Raleigh, and I think it was Roy Rogers, and it cost us 9 cents to get in.
Wow.
I remember that. It was certain days, and we'd walk down, and I can't remember who all went. We walked down there.
So
This
it's
is
close to Halifax Court.
Yeah. This is, I don't know exact age, but it was before I was 13, a whole lot. Well,
So was it a mixed group or just girls or
I think it's just a bunch of the girls.
from the apartments?
Yeah. Mhm. I didn't never have anybody after we left there because whoever I was living with, I had to keep cleaning everything for.
So even when you worked at the dime store, you didn't have any girlfriends that you hung out with or
No, because
double dated with, or?
When I worked at the dime store, I was living with Margaret and Johnny,
Uh-huh.
and I had to go home and I had to go to bed early because I was sleeping on their sofa. But I was glad to have it because I didn't want to go to Pennsylvania.
So how long did you live with them?
You know, I don't remember, but I lived with them. Uh, when I left there, I went to Pennsylvania. It gotten where, living from one to the other was bad. Went back up there. I worked with GC Murphy up there.
What was Johnny like?
Huh?
What was Johnny like?
Johnny's a good guy. I don't know how he put up with Margaret. He was a good guy. He had to hide money in the trunk of his car to have money to spend.
Well, I remember I think we were over at the Sears for the grocery store over there one night. We ran into him.
Yeah,
He had a box of donuts or something. He said, "Please don't tell Margaret I bought these."
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. He was a good guy, but she treated him like dirt. She told him, will you say, he asked her if he could go pee. I mean, she was. Well, your daddy never liked her after this, but when you were born and we was out on 64th Road, and before you were born, I was due any day, and she told me, she said, you need to come over here and clean my house and mop and wax my floors. Then you did it on your knees.
Right.
And your dad said, there ain't no way she'll never clean your house again.
Huh. So now, do I recall this correctly that both Grandma and Margaret could play the piano by ear? Or was it just Grandma?
Not
Huh? Not
I
Margaret.
don't think Margaret, no.
Just grandma.
That's
She
pretty
might,
amazing.
she might have pecked on it a little bit, but that was it.
Grandma, man, she was awesome with that ragtime music. Do you remember that?
I just remember she was really good. I was like, wow.
Yeah, but most of the music that she would play would be ragtime.
Yeah, and it would be loud. She wanted it to be loud.
Right, because that's how it's supposed to be in the
Yeah.
speakeasies.
Where did she pick that up?
She just had a gift. Who knows?
Wait, but she had to have a piano to
She
play.
had the piano. Who knew?
She started in church. Remember, her daddy was a preacher.
Grandnanny. Oh, that's right. Her daddy was a
Yeah.
preacher. That's right.
Yeah, and so she started in church. That's how she got playing the piano.
It doesn't. I forgot that he was a preacher, and
Yeah, he was a traveling preacher too. Plus,
he took her everywhere as a
no,
minister of music.
they had. Oh, who did you mean take?
Her father. But you said he was a traveling preacher, so he had a church at one point, but then
Yeah.
he became a traveling preacher, or he
Yeah.
had both?
I don't know. I think he had both at times.
Maybe you can call them back.
Yeah, I will.
Call from 1352728.
You should answer if it's if it's the place that you went to, the emergency care.
Oh,
They're supposed to get your info.
hello.
I'm sorry, Tom. She's supposed to
All
get yeah, I want them to get her TRICARE information. I don't want them to bill her.
Right. It is fine, Betsy. Seems like we've talked a lot longer than normal.
Yeah, well, I guess we have, yeah.
No, we haven't. It just seems like we have.
It does, doesn't it?
Lori's still sleeping, I guess.
When we got home, she went to bed. I came here and crawled in bed with Mom.
So you have the day to catch up.
Yeah,
Or are you gonna try and stay up all day?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I got a little catnap for a moment.
You look awfully good for somebody that just got off a plane.
What was it?
Dr. Ansett.
Oh,
They'll
gotcha.
just call and tell me about point, and you have to listen to it because they tell you the rules.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So have to
Rules?
put
There are
on.
rules.
It was her primary care physician.
Yeah, they want me to bring all my bottles of medicine. They want me to.
Well, that's good.
The bottles. Why can't they just take our list with all the
They
information?
want the bottles. And don't let me forget this. They want my blood pressure machine. They want to have it checked,
Okay.
see if it's working right.
Okay.
And so,
Is that
anyway,
this
and they
week?
tell you have to wear a mask and all.
Is it this week?
No, it's next Wednesday,
Next Wednesday.
the 1st of September.
Oh, this coming next
Yeah.
Wednesday. Okay. Yeah.
It's a lot to keep track of. At least they're doing an inventory of your prescriptions.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say your drugs.
Yeah, right.
I called, Express Scripts the other day because I'm getting really low on some of them. And I told her I was going out of town. But I hate to call that place. They have an answering machine or something that talks to you, and they say they push this or what.
Right.
And I cannot never do that. It just, I said, I want to talk to a person. And they said, no, we can help you. And so you go through it, and I guess they get aggravated finally and let me talk to the person.
Yeah, I would, if you get, just try 3 times saying, I want to talk to a person. And I bet there's a fail-safe.
Yeah, I say, what did I say? I think I say assistance, please. Assistance, please.
Yeah.
Assistance, please.
Well,
Agent, please. That's what I say. Agent, please. Agent, please. Agent, please.
well, they just really don't want you to talk.
Well, they are awfully good. I mean, compared to what they were when they started.
Oh, yeah. It's
Just-
just that I don't understand some of the stuff.
I know. How are you supposed to answer the question when you don't know what you're trying to ask, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I just have a hard time with that.
Well, we all do. I mean, I'll call someplace and they'll give you 4 options and none of them make sense.
None of them make, fit the bill here.
Yeah, well, that was me when I called something. I don't remember what it was, but none of them. Dr. Mayhew's office. And they never have what I want. So I just push 0.
There you go. That works too,
Yeah.
in most cases.
Where's Rick and Brenda?
All right. I sent Rick a note, I sent Rick a text saying I had sent him a link for today's meeting to his Gmail, but he didn't respond. At least I don't think he did. I hadn't heard that he responded.
Mhm.
Oh, he's on the road. He can't call in right now, he said.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know where, but, and Brenda, I don't have a clue. So.
Yeah. She's been taking Justin.
And she's been an Uber driver.
She's been the Uber driver, right? And
It's more like a dedicated chauffeur.
I think it's taken a toll on her on the weekends, just when she can sleep in.
Well, I mean, I don't know what she does during the day, but she's got to get up as early as he does.
Right.
Stay up. She doesn't get home until he does.
Right.
And what do you do in between? She may as well get a job there.
I know, right? She should call Manpower or special, what do they call them, assistants, some sort of administrative assistant. You can answer
Manpower
phones.
or Snelling and Snelling, or
There you go. Yeah.
Or what's the online people, or what is that? Five spot.
I don't know that one.
There are a bunch of them. From what I understand, I've never used one, but that you can get freelance help, everything from physically, locally to, it's looking better.
It is looking better. It's on the hill. It's on the mend.
I got a knot here that
it's still there.
And a cut, and it just.
But they checked her out really good.
Yes.
And they checked her out from top to bottom to make sure nothing was broken. Thank goodness.
Top to bottom.
Yep. Well, it was because she looked at her foot and she says, "Oh, my foot's swollen," and boom, there they were off taking X-rays.
It was bigger than it usually is, and it was real red.
So they took in fact, I watched them as they were taking the X-ray because some emergency came in and they were run out of the X-ray room, and he brought a portable X-ray machine into the room that she was in. Yeah, so he told me I needed to leave, I guess because he didn't want me exposed. So I stood at the door and watched the images come up as he took the pictures.
Did you?
Yeah. You've got the same plate in there wrapped with something. It looks like it's been laced up.
It's screws.
Screws are lacing you up?
Yeah. No, Dr. Warsaw told me I had a bunch of hardware in that foot.
Yeah.
We can make an antenna out of your foot.
That's right. She has reception problems. Just get her to hold her foot up in the air next to the TV.
When I fly, they make me go through that thing, and then a woman will come up and she pats me down everywhere.
Hey, Betsy, I bought Mom some magnetic boundaries for her vacuum.
Yeah.
And we need to turn it on, and I assume Nora put the app on her phone.
She did.
So we have to go on the phone and turn that feature on.
So magnetic boundaries, what does that mean?
Well, it's just you'd lay a strip on the floor where you don't want the vacuum to go past.
Oh.
She's got a place in her room where the vacuum gets caught all the time. So we sent her some strips. She's gonna put strips around that.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
They didn't come with yours?
No. And I
Okay.
have a place under the bed that it gets stuck, so I had to get duct tape under there and, duct
Well,
tape wires of the movable bed
Mm-hmm.
up. Of course, every once in a while they come down.
yeah, we have the same problem with the cats have pulled down the barrier up under the box spring. So
Yeah,
it hangs down. And
great.
I have to go back in there periodically and push it back up. And what I need to do is just pick up the bed and staple it back in.
All
But,
right. That'll
but you
be
know,
easy.
well, that's an hour job, right?
Maybe in 2 hours for me. Mom had to have people come in from the furniture store to turn her mattress. I thought it
Yeah,
was
she
good.
was telling me that.
She told him, I'm 86 years old. How am I supposed to turn it every so often? Oh, we'll do it for you. Really? Why didn't you mention that?
See, there's an advantage to saying, being old, Mom.
Yeah, right.
I'd start playing that card more. I'm 86.
Right.
I thought you were 87.
Mm-mm. How old are you?
86, I think.
That's what I thought. Born in
I-
35.
Right.
Do the math.
Do the math. Tell me.
Do the
Yeah.
math.
Yeah.
21 from 35. Yep, that'd be
So anyway,
86.
anytime, whenever you get a chance, see if
Yeah.
you can check her phone and turn it on.
Sure.
I'm not familiar with, I don't have that app, so I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, okay. Oh, these are it. Oh, gotcha. Oh, gotcha.
You
These
put it
are-
on the floor.
Oh, wow.
Take a pair of scissors and you cut what you need to make a boundary.
Well, how about that? You
I'm
get this from-
surprised yours doesn't have those.
I am too. I didn't know, shoot, I can't use mine very often because Lori hates hearing it run about and she's always home. And when we're not home, I forget. I wish I'd turned it on while we were gone to Vegas. I could have had the floors clean.
Well, I got in the habit of every time we leave, I
Mm-hmm.
turn it on.
Well,
So
I think I'm
we're not there.
gonna have to put it on my phone. Oh, it's a Yeti. Huh.
Yeah, when I go out on the porch at night, sit out there about 7 o'clock, I turn it on if I remember. But I have to shut my bedroom door because I tell you, it gets rough trying to get that thing out from under that
You just
bed.
have to tell me where it is. It's under the bed. Maybe you just don't want it under the bed.
I just don't want it under the bed. I've got
There's
them.
one particular, if I understood correctly, it's one particular corner she gets tucked in, because it does it at my house too,
Oh,
occasionally.
well, then maybe I just boundary it off under the bed on that corner that it gets stuck in.
Yes.
That
That's
way
what-
it's not visible and we could still have her run under the bed and it's all clean.
Yep.
'Cause that's what I like. I want to be able to see mine go under the bed.
Yeah.
But it's that one section back towards the back in the middle. So, okay.
It
Yeah,
gets,
And you just lay on the floor, huh?
I think that's the biggest advantage to them is they do under your beds and under your furniture. Yeah.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I never did that before.
Even housekeepers don't do that. I do mine with a dust mop.
well, I forgot to give the lady my dust mop when she come in. So I know she didn't clean under my bed, so.
Well, so
Well,
you just
your
let,
vacuum's been under there, though.
Huh?
Vacuum's been doing under there.
No, the vacuums won't go under there.
yeah, they will.
The vacuums won't go.
Oh, their vacuums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your little vacuum does.
What little-
Rosie. Rosie can go under your bed. That's what I meant.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. It
Mhm.
gets hung up.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we boundary it, so the boundarying is to just lay it on the floor.
Yeah, any place that you can't, that it gets stuck, that you can't change it, like
Uh-huh.
pick up wires, like you said. If you can pick
Right.
up your wires, do that. But like in my bedroom, I don't know exactly what Mom's are like, but in my bedroom, you've got the one leg close to your nightstand.
Yeah.
Well, it'll come around behind the one leg and get caught behind the leg or between the leg and the nightstand if I've allowed too much room there.
Okay.
So it does it when it's spinning around.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that, it going under the bed.
I think it's the greatest,
It
it didn't do
is.
anything else. That was a great part.
Right, exactly. Because I see that when you walk into the bedroom if it's not been cleaned.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, Kelly, the one that does my hair, she has two. She said the house is big and she has two dogs. And she
Right.
and she said they really shed. So she's got two. One run one time and the other run.
Well, yeah, if I had a 2-story house, I'd have 2 of them. I
Yeah.
mean, it's that when we moved here, that was part of the decision. I didn't want to go upstairs, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to buy another vacuum cleaner. It added to it, but you know, it's
I wish we could dump it,
Hey,
Sid.
well, that brings up a good point, Mom. You've witnessed dishwashers, microwaves, robot vacuums, TV. Um, what was it? What meant the most to you of the modern things that have come along?
You know, I think I love the stuff, but I think that when they had TV first time and I stood on Fayetteville Street and looked at it in a window, that was amazing. First time I ever seen TV.
What
And
was
then,
the show?
huh?
You remember what the show was?
No. And then we went up to Pennsylvania and Roy's parents had TV.
Really?
But it's so funny. If he didn't like something or a car or anything on that TV, if he didn't like the person that was doing the commercial,
Yeah.
he wouldn't buy it. He quit buying one car because he didn't like it.
Really?
But if he didn't like him, he would. He said, never again.
So when you went to you went to Pennsylvania, they what shows did they have? Yeah.
I don't remember. I really
Y'all
don't.
sit around and watch TV, or did you just go do other things while they were watching TV?
Mostly, yeah. And mostly they'd send me to bed.
Well, yeah, that's like you did us on Hillcrest. The best show came on at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
Rawhide.
right. Or Bonanza on Sunday. It was a problem to stay up late to watch Bonanza. I think it
Well,
started.
Bonanza was a few years later, but when we lived on Hillcrest, I wanted to Rawhide either came on at 8 or 9. I forget what it was, and she made me go to bed, so I couldn't watch it.
8 o'clock. I think
I'm
we had to go to
sorry.
bed.
It's all right. Oh,
Sorry,
yeah, I
I
should have gone to bed. Should have gone to bed.
Right? We went to
Just
sleep.
think it was the making of an icon. It was Clint Eastwood, you know.
That's right. That's right.
Well, you know, I don't agree with people now, and maybe it's right, but they let their children stay up till 12 o'clock at night. And I just don't understand that.
There were children, babies with their parents at the casinos at midnight.
Get out of here.
I'm not kidding. And I'm thinking, why are you here with your babies?
Because they couldn't afford a baby.
Walking along at this hour of the day in the casino.
That's cruel.
So when did you and Dad buy a TV? I know we had one in Norfolk or Virginia Beach.
A
TV. No, we had one in Washington, Chalkawinity, North Carolina.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
So the one we saw on Hillcrest was not the first.
No.
It was.
No.
Well, we had one. I knew we had one when we were in Virginia Beach, and we had one in Campbell Avenue.
Yeah.
But I didn't know when we got our first one.
Well, I think the first one was, what did I just say, Betsy?
Washington, North Carolina.
Yeah, I think that was the first,
Chalkawinity.
that was the first one.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
What did you watch? Do you remember?
Between taking care of two babies,
Right.
Not a whole lot.
I was wondering.
I
was wondering if that's when you started watching soap operas or not.
Oh no, I never watched soap opera.
Because you did it.
Yeah.
When we were later in years.
Yeah, but no, I didn't then. I didn't have time.
So you never watched the TV?
It would be on. Your dad have it on.
Okay.
I remember your dad sitting in a rocking chair, holding you, watching TV.
Now the one I remember from Campbell Avenue, the picture was only this big. It was
Yeah.
really small. It was big, much bigger cabinet, but the screen itself was only like that big. But I remember watching, what was the guy's name? Dudley Moore? Not Dudley Moore. Gary Moore. Yeah, I forget what the show was. But we watch him during the day sometimes. But,
I'm glad you said that name. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I waited on Dudley Moore at the airport.
did you really?
Yeah.
He kind of short, isn't he?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Sure. But he was really, really nice.
I heard he was.
Yeah. Is he still living?
I don't think so. I don't think so, Mom. Let's see. We can find out then.
Yeah. Well, and then the red-headed lady.
He died 20 years ago, Mom.
Did he?
19 years ago. Died in 2002.
Huh?
Is it Lucy?
No, it wasn't Lucy. It was
What other redheaded lady was it? What's she playing?
I don't know.
What are you talking?
She said there's a redheaded lady that.
And she was really rude. I mean, she'd come through the airport, she was rude.
Oh,
And Margaret.
Right. It's the only other redhead I know besides Lucy Arnett.
And Beth Moore came through the airport.
Oh.
Barbara Eden came when I was at the restaurant one time.
Yeah. Who?
Barbara Eden.
Oh, okay.
And she's still alive. And who's the
That's a little
Colonel Sanders came through.
Colonel Sanders?
Mm-hmm. Colonel Sanders.
Wow.
Good night.
But those are the only two I remember. I remember meeting Tex Ritter at the mall when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I had his autograph for a long time. But I didn't really know who he was, just a country singer, right?
Well, I still got Richard Petty's picture and who else is it?
His autograph?
I can't remember. I got it. But anyway, shoot.
Gotta get up and go look.
Is that your alarm?
Huh.
Huh.
My phone's down at the house.
I guess my phone charged. I guess that's what that was.
What you doing?
What are you doing? I know you're sleeping today. What are you doing tomorrow?
Probably washing clothes. I have a meeting on, do you need some help? I have a meeting on Tuesday,
Oh, it's not this one. I thought it was.
and I probably will start to look over some of the things I need to do for the group.
I got this thing.
Old newspaper.
It is an old newspaper.
What's the date on it?
The date, 1989, September 3rd, built with an eye to the future. This is the Roanoke New Airport Terminal. How about that?
And that interview where they interviewed me.
It's got like the new airport, which is the now airport.
Yeah.
The old airport. Huh. Yep, 1989, September 3rd. I guess she kept this because they interviewed her.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Send me a picture of it.
Let's see.
I'll show you where it's at.
Oh, it's not on the front page.
Yeah, that's somebody I haven't looked for. News articles with Mom.
Right. Let's see.
This was the time
This was what, man?
Did you see this?
The McDonald Observatory?
That was so great. That was.
Where is that?
It's in Fort Davis, Texas. It was part of our Cross Texas tour. And it was it's out in the middle of nowhere.
That's where the observatories are supposed to be, isn't it?
Yep.
That's where it is in there.
Yeah. It's it was great. It was a great I mean, we saw all the different observatories, different telescopes, I should say. We saw the telescopes, and then we've got to see the space station go overhead. Remember? I see it. I see it. I was just gonna.
But do you see where I
was looking.
So you actually got to look through the telescope to see the space station?
No, actually, we were
That would be something.
sitting outside in the amphitheater, and he was pointing out with a laser light the different star constellations.
Yeah.
And then he stopped for a minute, and Mom had just gotten, her back was hurting just sitting there. So I said, well, why don't you lay down on the bench here, put your head in my lap? And she did. And then he said, oh, in about 1 minute, oh, there it is. The space station is coming over. And we saw the space station clear as a bell, man, because it was just a beautiful night. And of course,
I've seen it in Atlanta. You can look up online what time it's going over and where.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Well, I guess you can. They've told us we can go. They told us when we were there that we could go on the website and look up all kinds of stuff. So here's her thing, her contribution. It says here they're interviewing all the employees, and it says it's dark too in the Cafe Rainbow, the airport bar. But Shirley Ann Arnette, bartender there, almost 5 years, doesn't mind at all. She's afraid she won't have a job at the new terminal, and she's been happy at her little bar. She wants a job there. They say you're going, the quote, they say you're going to be able to look out over the runway, unquote. But her boss didn't win a contract, and she's afraid she won't be hired at one of the new places because she's middle-aged. Quote, I'm just sorry our boss man didn't get it because he's been one of the best bosses I've ever had, unquote, she said. Quote, I'd like to go. I'd like the chance to try it, unquote. Arnette, a cheerful, friendly woman, knows her traveling business customers well. Quote, some you look for every Friday, some you look for every Monday, unquote. She remembers her favorite drinks and dishes. She remembers their favorite drinks and dishes. She sees few Roanokeers in her bar. She hopes the new, more lavish terminal and restaurants will draw more locals. She remembers bringing her children out to the airport years ago to watch the planes on Sunday afternoons. As she talked, she waved farewell to a young musician catching a flight to a recording studio. Quote, an airport's a nice place to work, unquote, she said. Many workers said so. The old airport was so small. Well, that was the end. Oh no, she goes on and says, the old airport was so small it was easy to squeeze a late passenger onto a flight, to run out to the gate and to relay a message to a coworker, or to make close friends at work. It was like a family, said Mary Wash. Okay, so now it's transitioned to Mary. Yeah. Is that your Mary? No, is that what's the woman's name that we ran into at the market?
That was Helene.
Helene, that's it. That's who worked there too.
Yeah.
And Helene still works there.
She works there a couple days a week in the bartender.
Huh.
They're not real busy. And at her age, she works a couple of days. I admire her. I wish I could have done that.
So that if you guys look through your village's phone book to see who's from Roanoke? Who else is from Roanoke?
I haven't.
Probably should do that.
Maybe if I remember anybody. I don't remember many people. I think Claude, I know Claude went through the phone book, but I don't remember many people.
Well, I've looked a little couple pages in there trying to find somebody. And it's just, oh, I know what I was going to say. I got the phone number of the Virginia Club.
Good.
I got to call it and see where they meet. They probably don't meet here, so.
Will they have a Virginia club for the village?
Every state has a club.
Yeah,
Nice.
so as I was going through the Thursday paper, I ran across, it's an insert for all the activities. They had the Virginia Club in there, so I told her about it.
Yeah.
So she could call and see.
Cool. Hey, I hate to cut it short, but I gotta go. You should go to bed. Pardon?
Yeah, I need to get a rest.
It was good talk this morning. Enjoy
I
it.
love you.
Love
Yeah,
you
it was
too.
good. It's nice to chat with you.
It's nice to chat with my good-looking son.
Good thought, you know.
I love you.
So mom, other than the birth of your firstborn, what's been your most memorable time?
In your life, the most memorable moment in your life, besides the birth of your firstborn. Besides that.
Oh. I would think when me and your daddy got married. And then when you were born.
I said besides that. So.
Yeah. But, you know, I do. You were my first. I mean, you can't get around that.
Sure.
I mean, and I'm a kid. So,
Right.
Yeah, well.
Well, I hope you guys have fun today.
Okay, you too.
You
We're gonna
too.
go
I love you.
Georgia.
All right. Give Fee our love.
All right, bye.
Take care. Bye.